Hello and welcome to Business Talks. I'm Lana Smith, your host. Today I have a really interesting guest, Derek Cutlip. Many of you would know him from his time at Moody Radio. You are an on-air personality, and now you are an on-air personality with Shine 104.9, and that's exciting. And you're like a mixed bag, Derek. You have so many irons in the fire. I'm not even sure which direction to go, but I'm glad you're here.
Good to be here.
And you're going to be glad you're here also. He's got some really great things to share with us today. So you were at Moody Radio. That's where I met you.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
I was there from 02 to 10 for 8 years.
And
Morning host, senior announcer, correct.
2003 or 2004 is when our spheres would have connected.
Okay.
When I was in ministry.
That's
and
right.
doing a lot on Moody Radio.
Yep, you were.
Yes.
Yep.
And met you and was so impressed with just your love for the Lord, your passion for what you're doing. And it made an impact on me. You're one of those people that you wear your faith. And I always say, put the skin on Jesus.
Yeah.
And so that was, I was really impressed with that. But you've moved on from Moody and you have your own voiceover
I have a
studio?
production studio in my home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was there till 2010. And it was soon after that the station manager, GM for what was formerly known as Positive Life, which is now Shine 104.9, he reached out to me. We developed a friendship, a relationship, and he said something that was probably one of the most sweetest things any human being has ever said to me on the face of this planet in my short years on this planet. He goes, I always wanted to steal you from Moody. Now that I have the opportunity to do so, I'm going to. I can't do it now, but you wait. In 6 years, he stayed true to his promise, and he came to me about a year before they transitioned, did some re-imaging, rebranding from Positive Life to Shine 104.9. Yes. He goes, you're going to be my new morning producer.
And were you excited?
Oh, absolutely. News? Yeah, it was good.
Because you love that. I mean, that's your passion, isn't it?
My degree's in broadcast communications. Okay. I remember wanting to do broadcasting back in the early 70s. Yeah. I just had that passion with my dad.
The early 70s. Yeah. Wow.
I knew what I wanted to do. Yeah.
The 70s. You were 3, I'm sure. You're very young in utero.
Yeah.
So, and now you're at Shine 104.9, but you also, we were talking before we started taping, and I very, very interested in this. You're a chaplain for a manufacturing company.
Yes.
Which is extremely unusual in the corporate world, that they would have a chaplain on site for their employees. Can you tell me more about that?
I would say it is unconventional, but that would describe me in one word, unconventional.
Okay.
Huntwood Industries. They've
cabinet makers.
Yes. They are one of the largest on the planet. You throw the word custom in front of them, and they are the largest, and which is what they do, custom cabinets. They've been around since 1988. They started out in the valley off Sullivan Industrial Park, and then they broke ground in Liberty Lake in 04, and they started production then, or 06, excuse me. So about 15 years they've been in Liberty Lake. And from the get-go, the owners and operators wanted to have a chaplain. It wasn't until after 9/11, actually, until they kind of pulled that trigger and hired a chaplain, and he was around for about a dozen years. And then a dear, dear friend of mine, it was back in summer of 18, where there was someone that was kind of stepped in as an interim, but he managed one of the production departments, and he couldn't do dual roles. He felt, you know what, I just feel like I'm robbing from both, and if you really want to do this effectively like you did in the past, you should hire a chaplain full-time. And both the owners and operators and my dear friend said, you know what, let's call Derek. And they both independently told me they were considering me for like 10 years prior to that. And I got a phone call, and I very reluctantly, I didn't say no, but I certainly didn't say yes enthusiastically. I was already working full-time, working with an amazing ministry, widow and orphan ministry called Safe Families for Children, for about 6 years. And it was about 6 weeks later, after being called persistently from the owner, Tim Hunt. He, after 6 weeks, I said yes, but give me a few months. Give me a few months. I needed to. I couldn't just close out, say, families. Sure. I wanted it to continue. My direct supervisor, I was the only employee here, and my direct supervisor was out of Orange County, and so I just wanted to make sure that was going to be left in good hands. Yes. And then I started January 1 of 19, and it's very unconventional. You don't see chaplains in
not in a manufacturing plant.
Yeah, for profit.
Yeah.
No. Hospitals, military, law enforcement, fire department. Yeah, absolutely, but no. But we're still dealing with lives. Yes. Over 700 employees in the plant, and they all come with life, with baggage. We all do.
And
and I would say that every human being is summed up with 3 components of life that we're not exempt from, and that's relationships, finances, and health.
True.
And sometimes those can be wonderful, amazing, beautiful, miraculous, and sometimes they can be toxic. We're meant to do life together, and relationship is good. Yeah. I believe birth from heaven. You know, we're meant to have a relationship with God. We're meant to have a relationship with one another. That fulfills, what Jesus referred to as the 2 of the greatest commandments: love others, love God, love others. But sometimes they can go south. Same thing financially. I think one way to always walk in a spirit of prosperity, not have that spirit of poverty, is be generous with your money and be good steward to your finances. And a lot of people don't understand the value of money, and they're living from paycheck to paycheck. Barely making ends meet, wondering when their next meal is.
Creating a lot of stress.
Yeah. And then the third component is health. We were born with these shells, and we're going to die with them, and we need to know how to take care of them. And sometimes we're in the best shape of our lives, and other times we may get in a car accident, lose a limb, or get a call from a doctor and let us know that we have a terminally ill disease. So
or COVID.
We've been dealing with a health crisis for the last 12 months. Absolutely. Yes. So people walk in, and I don't expect that. We didn't hire robots. Yeah. I don't expect them to shut their life off like a faucet when they go clock in. And that's the genius behind the owners and operators that want to have a chaplain full-time on staff, where they have the freedom to, when they feel like they're drowning, they feel like life is just, they've been set up to deed, and they feel like they can't go on. But yet, because of where they may be financially, they can't afford to take a day off either. So they walk through those doors, and then they just need a breath of fresh air. So my door is lined up. I have people coming in to my office. I had a young man who, 40 years of age, who his wife passed away about 6 months ago. 2 months after, he walked in my office, and he was a mess emotionally. He probably ranted. I like to say that they verbally vomit all over me.
Oh yeah.
And just vent for the next 10, 15 minutes. And then I barely got a word in edgewise, and hey, I'm good. Yeah. That was a sounding board. I let people know, because obviously not everyone's a Christian. I am a Christian. I wear that on my sleeve, as you said. But a chaplain is a little bit different than a pastor, although I'm an ordained pastor. I'm not here to preach, pray, or give advice unless they ask me to. I just get to love on people, and they just want to be heard. They want to know that they have worth. They want to know that they're valued. They want to know that they're loved and they have purpose. Yeah.
So when they brought this chaplain position on, how many years ago? So at least
in 01.
14?
So 01. So yeah, 20 years ago. Yeah.
What have they seen? What I would think positive or negative reaction, would guess positive, have they seen with having a chaplain on site? What have they seen in the quality of their employees, the quality of life of their employees? What have they seen manifest from this, offering this position, offering this for their staff?
I think just a better welfare of lives. I think retention. There's 3 in manufacturing. At least I can only mention what I witness. In manufacturing, there's three major areas. There's the production, there's the product, and there's the people. Now, who would you and I think was the greatest resource, the greatest component is the people, obviously. Well, we have a maintenance team that keeps those machines well-oiled, keeps the saws running, keeps the drills going, so they can craft, that lumber into world-class cabinets. We have a quality control team that makes sure that when the product gets out there onto the trucks and gets shipped, that it has minimal defect. So you've got production, you have product, and now the people. Yeah. So kind of like
who takes care of the people.
One who just kind of keeps the people oiled.
Yeah.
I know that's
in a matter of speaking.
Yeah, that's the Holy Spirit's job. But I get to pray for them and pray with them, and I just get to love and you see. I think you see a morale booster is really what you see, and with that, I would say retention. With that, the quality of just a work experience there. I tell them, don't pick up the offense. Don't let little things get to you. Have thick skin. There's the Greek word, the scandalon. It's where we get the term scandal. It's Greek, and it means not to take the bait. Don't take the bait. It's the trap, and the enemy wants to set that trap. And sometimes people just get so offended. And I just,
it's true.
Yeah, there's just a beauty where they can just come in and vent to me, and hopefully have the opportunity to share with them and pray with them. Not always, but more so than often they welcome that.
Yeah. Well, when people are in crisis, one of the first things you hear is, "Will you pray for me?" Yep. They've never stepped foot in a church. Yep. They may have no background, no faith-based background, but when there's a crisis, the first thing people do is reach out and say, "Would you pray for me?" And I think that speaks volumes about where people are at in that God-shaped hole in their heart. And Amen. I imagine, Derek, that you are probably, for some of those people, maybe the only Christian they encounter, or, somebody they've sat down and talked to that lives a faith-based lifestyle. So, that really gives you an opportunity.
Absolutely.
A great opportunity.
Yeah.
And, it's not about spitting scripture at somebody. It's not. You just do what Jesus did. You just love people where they're at.
I refer to myself as bilingual. Obviously I can be behind the pulpit and preach the Word of God, and I can share things that the church can relate to and understand. But when you start speaking that Christianese to one who's never stepped foot in a church, what? Huh?
You get a glazed over look, and then the fear. I think people are afraid they don't measure up, so they can't talk about it. But the beauty of Jesus is that he takes you where you're at. You don't have to clean up. You
Amen.
Just come. That's it.
Yeah.
So I love that they're doing that. I think that's an amazing thing. And like you said, work product, quality of life, retention. It'd be nice if other corporations saw this as a model and emulated that, because can you imagine how spiritually and emotionally healthy their workforce would be if more people took this. And like you said, it's not about preaching. No. It's just about loving people.
Exactly.
So I think that's great.
You have the privilege, the opportunity to love without bias, love without judgment, and just try to bring out the value that they have, and let them know that they are loved and they have worth. And with that, and when you see some success, it's not always there, but with 700 employees, there's bound to be a small percentage of those dealing with crisis, as you mentioned.
Absolutely.
But when they can see some sort of hope, resolve, light at the end of the tunnel, they're back out on the plant floor and they are more productive.
Well, and to know somebody cares, that you've reached out to them, that somebody cares and loves them. I think that's a human condition.
Yeah.
We all want to know that. So what's happening at Shine?
Shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been a blessing to be a part of. Darren, station manager, reached out to me and hired me. So I got started back in August of 16, so it'll be 5 years this August. And morning producer, and I get to work alongside Dave and Shauna. They're the morning host. I'm the morning producer. We're the morning team. And the beauty, this is, and I'm really blessed because I've had the privilege to work at 3 of the largest Christian radio stations in the Spokane market. I think I'm the only one. Power 101.9, which is now Air One. It's under different ownership, but still at 101.9. And then, of course, Moody Radio. I was sad to hear that they closed the local staff down a year ago, last spring. And what a heritage that it's been.
Yes,
going
I
back
couldn't
to
agree more.
Going back to Gary Leonard when he went on the air. Yeah, back Expo.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was even sad for me, although I was 10 years removed from Moody Radio. It was sad, but it was a privilege to be a part of that ministry and radio station for 8 years, from 02 to 10, and then now with Shine 104.9. Probably the biggest honor, and we have a great team. Lorinda Ray is our afternoons. We had a major heartbreak. Many people know J.J. Hemingway, who has been in this market for 30 years. His last 2 years was with Shine before he passed away, and he was one of my best friends. I always tell everyone he was my last roommate before my current roommate, my wife. And he's just a sweetheart. I loved him, and he's dearly. Yeah, we lost him in June of 19, 2 years ago. Yeah. But it was in January of 2020, a year ago, where we discovered that we were the #1 radio station in the Spokane market.
That's
not
phenomenal.
Christian radio station. We were the #1 radio station.
How exciting.
Yeah, I've never been a part of anything like that, and that
Doesn't
really
that give you hope?
Yeah,
Because people are listening.
They are.
They're listening
They
to the
are.
message.
and I think listenership even increased during COVID.
Well, with people quarantined and feeling hopeless, I love tuning in. It always makes my day better. Listen to it from the time I get up till in the car and whenever I can, because it just gives me that hope for the day. Uplifting. Everything that Shine does is phenomenal. So
Uplifting and encouraging.
Uplifting and encouraging. I sound like a commercial.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on today and sharing that and your passion, and keep doing what you're doing. You're making an impact in our community.
I am the most blessed person in Spokane.
He said that, but then I doubled down and said, I feel like I'm the most blessed person. Isn't that great?
It's amazing. I don't
great.
really, I wake up wondering, how I get to do what I get to do, but God.
But God, His favor and His grace.
Yeah.
That's it.
Amen.
So, well, thank you.
Thank you for the
Derek.
invite.
Make sure and tune in to see Derek in the mornings on Shine 104.9 FM, and you can hear his work and be encouraged and uplifted every day. And thank you for what you do here, and thank you for what you do in ministry.
Thank you.
For those in our community. So
Bless you, Lana.
Thank you for joining us today on Business Talks. I am Lana Smith, your host.
The Wishing Star Send a Friend a Goat fundraiser is back. They are adorable, snuggleable, and hilarious. For 16 years, baby goats have brought joy to thousands while raising essential funds for the Wishing Star Foundation, which grants wishes for children with terminal and life-threatening conditions while supporting their families long after the wish. From May 3rd through the 7th, you can have a baby goat delivered to a friend, family member, boss, or coworker. The Wishing Star Goat Wrangler volunteers will deliver an adorable live baby goat directly into the arms of your recipient. For a $60 donation, this is a fun and lighthearted way to get some laughs and support the Wishing Star Foundation Wish programs at the same time. Place your order today at wishingstar.org/goats. Happy goating!
Welcome to Apex Plaza, Spokane's one-stop cannabis destination. Apex Cannabis features thousands of economy, value, and luxury cannabis products. Cannagear features hemp-based CBD products, glass, goods, and gear. Stop by 1325 North Division to experience the Apex difference.
This product has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug. There may be health risk associated with the consumption of this product. For use only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children.